In the golden age of television, a single unedited moment on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour shattered the illusion of perfect live performance and reminded viewers that even the sharpest acts can stumble in spectacular fashion. Picture this. It's 1968, a time of cultural upheaval and bold experimentation, and Tom and Dick Smothers stand center stage, bantering like clockwork while cameras whirl around them. The set glitters under studio lights, the laugh track primed to cover any awkward pause. But behind the facade of seamless timing, something unexpected is about to unfold. A split-second blunder captured by a camera that wasn't cued to go live. A blooper so raw and revealing it rewrites our understanding of what went on when the red tally light blinked off. It begins with a simple exchange, a routine bit about politics that the brothers had performed dozens of times. Tom launches into his punchline, his eyes twinkling with mischief, and Dick raises his eyebrows in that familiar exasperation. The audience laughs. The band strikes up a Johnny riff, and for an instant it feels like another polished segment ready for primetime perfection. Then, in less than a beat, Tom's foot catches on a stray cable, sending him lurching forward. The scripted banter dissolves as both brothers freeze, their practiced smiles faltering. Cameras swivel to capture the stumble, but the director, convinced the action has already cut to credits, doesn't switch back in time. What remains is unfiltered reality. Tom's embarrassed half-grin, Dick's improvised quip, and the restless studio laughter that trails off into uncertain silence. That unedited clip remained hidden for decades, buried in vaults while audiences only knew the flawless televised episodes. It resurfaced recently thanks to a diligent archivist who discovered the raw reels misfiled alongside rehearsal footage. As the world watches Tom steady himself and Dick riff off the moment with ad-libbed humor, it's impossible not to feel a shiver of delight. This isn't a manufactured gag or a tightly scripted sketch. It's a candid glimpse into the chemistry that made the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour legendary. We witnessed two performers who thrived on spontaneity, turning potential embarrassment into comedic gold with just a shrug and a sideways glance. Contrast this with the sanitized broadcast that aired for 50 million viewers. In the polished versions, every stumble was edited out, every flub erased, leaving only the illusion of effortless wit. The laughter felt rehearsed, the timing immaculate. But the blooper reveals the human core beneath the comedy. Two brothers who trusted each other implicitly, ready to pivot at a moment's notice. When Tom's foot tangled, Dick instinctively filled the silence, crafting a new line on the fly that saved the routine. It's a masterclass in live improvisation, an unscripted testament to skill honed under pressure. Smooth transitions define this moment's magic. What could have been a halting pause briefly stalls the segment. Then Dick's quick-witted remark reignites the momentum, and within seconds, the show resumes as if nothing had happened. That effortless pivot is the heartbeat of great comedy, an unspoken contract between performer and audience that says, "We may falter, but we won't break." As you watch that unedited reel, it's impossible not to lean forward, caught between empathy for the misstep and admiration for the artistry that smoothed it over. In the following sections, we'll peel back more layers of this blooper's significance. We'll explore how live television's unpredictability shaped the Smothers Brothers style, why viewers craved authenticity amid an era of social tumult, and how this singular unretouched clip resonates with today's on-demand culture. But first, savor the simplicity of a stumble-turned triumph and recognize its power. When cameras aren't rolling for the official take, real magic can happen. BY 1967. The Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour had carved out a unique place in American television, weaving irreverent humor with cutting-edge musical performances and timely social commentary. The show featured folk singers, rock bands, and comedic sketches that often flirted with the boundaries of what broadcasters dared to air. Tom and Dick Smothers used their sibling rivalry persona to lampoon political hypocrisy, generational divides, and cultural norms. Audiences marveled at the way a banjo and an acoustic guitar could cut through censorship like a razor, delivering subtle scorn that left network executives twitching. But behind the scenes, each segment was a gauntlet of approvals, revisions, and whispered warnings from the powers that be. Executive producers walked a tightrope, balancing creative ambition with sponsored demands and network censors. One of the most notorious clashes arose over Pete Seeger's appearance. His lyrics about war and peace attracted federal scrutiny, and the network pulled his performance late in post-production. Tom Smothers threatened to walk off the show over that censorship, prompting heated calls between CBS headquarters and a terrified sponsor. The brothers ultimately prevailed in broadcasting Seeger's song, but the incident foreshadowed a pattern. Every time they pushed the envelope, threats of cancellation loomed. Audience cheers drowned out the threat, and share ratings climbed as viewers tuned in to see if CBS would let them speak or deliver another edited Sunday night special. Against this backdrop, the unreleased blooper takes on new meaning. It appears to have been taped during a rehearsal earlier than the live broadcast date, and its unedited rawness reminds us that the brothers were always up against unpredictable variables. Microphones hummed, cue cards shifted, and camera operators improvised to capture spontaneous moments. When Tom stumbled, the production team, geared for smooth transitions, had no immediate script to hide behind. This unguarded reveal sits in stark contrast with the meticulously edited final cuts that aired. It illustrates the high-wire act of 1960s live TV production, where a single misstep could expose the artifice behind even the most confident performances. In many ways, the Smothers Brothers anticipated the modern obsession with behind-the-scenes access. Viewers today crave unfiltered takes, hidden camera reveals, and director's commentary, but back then, audiences seldom glimpsed production gaffes. This preserved mystique made weekly live entertainment seem infallible. The newly discovered blooper rewinds that illusion, turning a moment of vulnerability into proof of connection. Instead of perfection, we witness authenticity, and that shift defines why the clip resonates now more than ever. It reminds us that great comedy thrives on trust between performers and audiences, built on the willingness to embrace human fallibility. Yet there's a deeper layer here, reflecting the Smothers Brothers' broader mission to challenge America's social consciousness. Their comedic stumbles mirrored the era's own upheavals, civil rights protests, anti-war demonstrations, and generational clashes that could derail even the most rehearsed plans. By standing unwaveringly on live television, they invited viewers to confront unpredictability as an opportunity rather than a flaw. The rehearsal room trip now embodies that ethos. When the expected routine falters, improvisation becomes art. Millions tuned in not to see plastic spectacles, but to find solidarity in shared surprise and laughter. That collective experience transformed a simple studio miscue into cultural commentary. In the age of viral videos and social media, that unfiltered glimpse feels more relevant. Today's viewers recognize that behind-the-scenes outtakes humanize and connect, but the Smothers blooper predated the internet. It stands as an early prototype for our crave of natural authenticity. When you watch the raw reel, notice the pause of uncertainty, the subtle laugh that follows, and the way both brothers will back into harmony. In that fleeting moment, we discover why real comics embrace risk and why uncut scenes can change everything. Behind the scenes, the artistry of camera operators and editors plays a pivotal role in shaping televised comedy. In the case of the Smothers Brothers blooper, we see not only the performers' split-second reactions, but also the production crew's instinctive decisions, switching lenses, cueing lights, and controlling audio levels to preserve comedic momentum in an unscripted moment. Typically, live television relies on a safety net of delay systems and multiple camera feeds so that any mishap can be edited out or masked by a canned laugh track. But in this extraordinary clip, that safety net was inexplicably unplugged, and what emerged is unvarnished reality. Tom's stumble, Dick's swift improvisation, and the raw ambient laughter that followed. Contrast this with the polished broadcast. In post-production, editors splice together the best takes, remove random pauses, and insert canned reactions to maintain pacing. The laugh track smooths over any crack in the performance. Tight framing conceals mishaps, and color correction enhances facial expressions. By hiding the blooper, networks reinforce the idea that the Smothers Brothers possessed near-superhuman timing. Yet authenticity lies in imperfection. When the stumble made it past the director's switcher, viewers glimpsed the actual creative exchange in real time. Camera operators refocusing, floor managers moving cable offstage, and audio technicians muting unwanted hiss. This behind-the-scenes choreography is normally invisible, but it contributes just as much to the magic of live television as the jokes themselves. Beyond the immediate technical drama, the blooper underscores a deeper truth about human connection. Audiences sense when moments are unfiltered. That brief escape from perfection invites empathy and heightens engagement. We recognize ourselves in missteps, observing how public figures navigate the same awkwardness we fear. In modern terms, this is the appeal of vlogs and live streams, where unscripted laughter and candid errors generate viewer loyalty. The Smothers Brothers, pioneers of 1960s live TV anarchism, inadvertently modeled a precursor to today's authenticity economy. The unedited scene becomes more than a lapse. It's a deliberate invitation to share laughter in real time. Equally fascinating is how the brothers themselves treated the moment. After the initial shock, Dick delivered a quip. "Looks like somebody rewrote the script without telling us," that recycled the stumble into fresh material. Tom responded with a self-deprecating grin, acknowledging the human foible. Their rapport, built over years of sibling banter, transformed potential embarrassment into collective celebration. That dynamic interplay between error and recovery embodies the essence of improvisational comedy. It reminds us that laughter often arises where control loosens its grip. Furthermore, exploring this uncut reel reveals the importance of trust between performers and crew. Directors rely on camera operators to capture the right angles. Performers trust editors to highlight the best moments. Networks judge sponsors on ratings. In this case, an unplanned technical hitch generated a moment that reverberated decades later. That unexpected glitch created a narrative loop. The episode aired flawlessly, the blooper was tucked away, and decades later, its reappearance revived passion for a show long off the air. It's a testament to how ephemeral moments can become cultural touchstones when preserved. In the context of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour's broader legacy, this blooper reinforces their reputation as boundary pushers who thrived on spontaneity. The license to improvise under pressure was central to their appeal. It allowed them to challenge censorship and connect deeply with an evolving audience. The raw fragment we now witness serves as a microcosm of their ethos. Comedy is strongest when it embraces the unexpected. As future generations discover this scene, they'll not only laugh at the stumble, but also appreciate the collaborative ingenuity that transformed a near failure into timeless humor. Stay tuned for deeper revelations ahead. Nearly 6 decades after its first airing, the unedited Smothers Brothers blooper has emerged as a pivotal artifact in television history. When a diligent CBS archivist tripped across mislabeled reels in 2023, the find was celebrated by preservationists worldwide. These dusty tapes, tucked away alongside behind-the-scenes outtakes, included rehearsal sessions and camera tests, moments long thought lost. Among them, this single clip revealed not only Tom's stumble, but the orchestra of off-camera craftsmanship that swiftly salvaged a live performance. Its discovery fundamentally shifts our understanding of 1960s network production. We no longer recall the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour solely for its polished biting satire or its daring musical acts, but also for its willingness to embrace and immortalize imperfection under bright studio lights. For audiences today, watching the Smothers Brothers recover from a near disaster transcends mere nostalgia. In an age of auto-tuned vocals and perfect CGI, the organic spontaneity of that stumble feels revolutionary, offering a raw connection to the performer's human vulnerability. Social media buzz erupted when clips circulated online, with viewers sharing gifs of Tom tripping and praising Dick's lightning-fast wit. Comments range from surprised laughter to heartfelt appreciation. "This is why they were so great," writes one Redditor. Such responses underscore a collective hunger for authenticity, revealing that even after decades, fans crave the unpredictable thrill of unguarded artistry. The clip's emotional honesty resonates across generations, bridging gaps between those who witnessed the original broadcast and younger viewers discovering it for the first time. This impulse toward candid content has become central to modern entertainment. Whether it's blooper reels on streaming services or unscripted podcasts, viewers relish seeing their heroes stumble and recover. YouTube channels dedicated to television mistakes have millions of subscribers, TikTok creators remix backstage footage to showcase performative slips. In that ecosystem, the Smothers Brothers Blooper stands as a progenitor of our current authenticity economy. It reminds us that behind every rehearsed segment lies untold stories of trial and error, lighting cues gone awry, and last-second ad-libbing. By studying this clip alongside today's viral outtakes, media scholars trace a line from network censorship battles to today's cancel or forgive debates, revealing how audiences have always valued honesty over gloss. Media archivists and scholars have seized upon the blooper's release as an opportunity to reevaluate preservation priorities. Traditional archiving practices often focused on final broadcast masters, neglecting rehearsal tapes and production logs. Yet these supplemental materials unlock a fuller portrait of television's collaborative art, highlighting unscripted moments that shaped audience perception. Universities now incorporate the Smothers Brothers file and coursework on live studio operations, censorship challenges, and improvisational techniques. Panel discussions at media preservation conferences debate the ethics of releasing such behind-the-scenes footage. Does it honor the performer's legacy or expose them to unintended scrutiny? In every case, the consensus emerges that true preservation demands transparency. The stumble is as essential to the narrative as the finished punchline. As we reflect on the unedited scene, it becomes evident that the heart of great comedy lies at the intersection of planning and unpredictability. The Smothers Brothers mastered that dynamic, transforming a simple misstep into enduring legend. Their ability to harness chaos under the glare of studio lights teaches a timeless lesson. When performers trust their instincts and lean into error, they forge deeper bonds with audiences. This radiant blend of triumph and humility encapsulates why genuine mistakes, when embraced, become the spark that ignites collective joy. Looking forward, this blooper will inspire new generations of creators to celebrate mishaps as opportunities rather than failures. In the final section, we'll explore key takeaways for today's performers, producers, and fans, discovering how this single unedited moment continues to shape entertainment and how you can harness the power of authentic vulnerability in your own creative pursuits. Stay tuned. Modern performers can draw a powerful lesson from that unedited Smothers Brothers moment. Authenticity resonates more deeply than perfection. When Tom stumbled and Dick transformed uncertainty into comedy gold, they created a shared experience that transcended mere entertainment. Today's artists, whether on stage, in podcasts, or in front of a camera, can harness similar magic by cultivating environments that allow for genuine reactions. Instead of masking every misstep with edits or canned responses, consider leaving brief, candid moments in your work. A genuine laugh, a moment of hesitation, or even an imperfect note can humanize a performance, reminding audiences that art springs from real people. That vulnerability builds trust, loyalty, and a sense of communal discovery. Fans won't just watch you, they'll watch with you. Behind the scenes, producers and technical teams should rethink the balance between safety nets and spontaneity. While delay systems and multi-angle coverage remain essential to protect broadcast quality, archiving raw feeds and rehearsal tapes offers goldmines of authenticity. In the Smothers blooper, an accidental camera switch preserved the unfiltered moment, giving historians and fans a window into true live TV craftsmanship. Modern productions, from live-stream concerts to corporate webinars, can benefit from similar practices. Label and store alternate camera feeds, rehearsal recordings, and producer notes. Periodically release off-script, compilations, or behind-the-scenes showcases. This layered approach keeps the polished product intact for broad audiences while offering superfans enriched material that deepens engagement. Fans, too, play a role in this authenticity economy. Viewers have evolved from passive recipients into active participants in storytelling. Social media platforms allow real-time feedback. A fleeting slip-up can go viral within minutes, eliciting memes, reaction videos, and heartfelt commentary. Instead of fearing fan scrutiny, performers can lean into it by responding openly, whether through a quick social post acknowledging a blooper, a follow-up Q&A livestream, or a retrospective podcast episode. These gestures close the loop between audience and artist, validating fan curiosity and rewarding their loyalty with transparency. In this feedback-driven era, permitting glimpses of raw humanity can transform casual viewers into devoted champions. Education and training must also embrace imperfection as a core pillar. Improv workshops, long a staple of comedy schools, teach participants to accept and build on unexpected stimuli. Musicians experimenting with live instrumentation can schedule spontaneous jam sessions where mistakes are encouraged and recorded. Film and video students should study both final edits and raw footage to appreciate the full creative process. By normalizing trial and error early in training, emerging creators internalize the agility to pivot when unscripted events occur. That mindset shift mirrors the Smothers Brothers instinct. When control falters, adaptability becomes artistry. Finally, archival practices deserve renewed focus. Institutions and independent archivists should prioritize the preservation of uncut footage alongside polished masters. It's in the mistake reels and rehearsal clips that the full scope of creative collaboration reveals itself. Content libraries, digital platforms, and cultural archives benefit from cataloging both the refined and the raw. This ensures that future generations not only witness landmark performances, but also understand the human ingenuity that shaped them. The Smothers Brothers Blooper teaches us that a single unedited scene can spark fresh appreciation decades later. By championing authenticity, documenting vulnerability, and inviting fans into the process, artists and producers can cultivate enduring legacies built on genuine human connection. From that humble stumble on a 1968 stage to today's virus-driven media landscape, the unedited Smothers Brothers Blooper reminds us that imperfection is a cornerstone of authentic storytelling. The tangled cable that sent Tom Smothers forward and the ad-libbed quip that Dick instantly delivered together illustrate a universal principle. Vulnerability forges connection. In an era when cameras capture every polished headline and fans sift through curated highlight reels, leaving room for unvarnished moments breathes life into content. As you plan your next performance, whether live, on-screen, or streamed, consider intentionally designing moments that invite spontaneity rather than suppress it. First, integrate structured spontaneity into your workflow. Reserve time during rehearsals and taping specifically for wildcard takes, segments where performers and hosts know that whatever happens will be captured and later considered for release. By embedding this ritual into production schedules, you signal to talent and crew that experimentation is not only permitted but celebrated. Over time, these wildcard moments can become signature features, limited edition callouts, or social media events that fans eagerly anticipate. The Smothers Brothers Blooper showed how a single unplanned second can eclipse planned perfection in cultural memory. Second, invest in dual-track archiving. Modern digital systems make it easy to record both live feeds and clean masters simultaneously. Label and tag these files clearly, establishing a workflow where isolated camera angles, rehearsal sound checks, and behind-the-scenes chats are stored and indexed. When fans clamor for authenticity or researchers request raw material for documentary work, you'll have a well-organized repository ready. Universities, film schools, and historical societies can leverage these materials for case studies and retrospectives. In turn, your content gains extended shelf life as scholars and educators cite it in lectures and publications. Third, embrace multi-platform storytelling. After your main content drops, release companion segments that showcase outtakes, rehearsal footage, and crew commentary. Platforms like YouTube Premium, Patreon, or dedicated microsites are ideal for hosting these extras. Each release can spotlight a different facet of production: a lighting mishap turned creative lighting effect, a microphone failure reshaped into a running joke, or a costume malfunction that inspired the next sketch. This layered approach rewards superfans with deep dive experiences while maintaining the integrity of the polished version for broader audiences. Fourth, activate fan communities as co-curators. The Smothers Brothers Blooper resurfaced because an archivist unearthed it, but imagine if networks invited fans to share their own rare recordings or personal anecdotes from live tapings. Crowdsource old VHS recordings, encourage sharing of audience-shot videos, and celebrate these submissions in official social channels. By co-creating your archive, you strengthen the bond between brand and community. Fans become invested stakeholders in preserving and interpreting your creative history. Fifth, collaborate with academics and archivists. Media scholars craving original artifacts will appreciate access to unedited reels, production notes, and technical logs. Partner with universities to create curriculum modules or host guest lectures that dissect your bloopers and production processes. Documentarians seeking to chart cultural shifts will find fertile ground in these archives. This scholarly engagement extends your brand's reach into educational spheres, enhancing reputation and generating new interest in your work. Sixth, institute a transparency and trust campaign that aligns authenticity with core values. Just as the Smothers Brothers broke network molds to champion free expression, your brand can pledge to share imperfect moments as evidence of commitment to openness. Highlight how each shared mistake reinforced trust or sparked creative breakthroughs. Tie the campaign to charitable efforts or community initiatives, demonstrating that authenticity and social impact go hand in hand. Audiences will value not only your artistry, but also your willingness to stand in the light, warts and all. Finally, recognize that the ultimate reward of embracing imperfection is enduring connection. The Smothers Brothers blooper remained unseen for decades, only to ignite fresh excitement and scholarly interest when finally revealed. It stands as proof that vulnerability outlasts vanity and that audiences remember real stories longer than scripted lines. So let the next stumble you experience become your most memorable moment. Invite your viewers, listeners, or attendees into the messiness of creation. It is there that the magic of genuine human artistry truly unfolds.